Hello, everybody. Welcome to His Will, and I am your host, David Mitchell. And today's topic is going to be, why has the man left? And I'm so honored to have my good friend for many, many, many years, the awesome, the intelligent, the wise man, Dave Wiseman.
Thank you.
No, thank you for being here. It's an honor. It's my pleasure, my brother.
Thank you.
So today's topic, we're going to be talking about, why did the man leave? And basically, I know we know we all know Jesus' story, but, the thing that really stood out to me, well, one of the things that, is really just kind of swept under the rug, but why only halfway through, after we hear that Jesus was left behind 3 days, left behind in the temple, after that, we really heard nothing else from Joseph.
Exactly.
So it's just, so we know that Mary and Joseph were together up until at least Jesus was around 12-ish. And after that, we know nothing. And it doesn't say that he was, with them when he got crucified, when he got saved, when he got baptized. Joseph wasn't nowhere there. So, and I say this to say, or ask really, how can a man, now I'm not saying that we don't know what happened to Joseph, so I'm not saying that he just up and left Mary. He could have died, she could have been a widow, we don't know. So they could have got a divorce, I don't know. But I bring that up to say, how can a man after 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, marriage is going great, just up and leave and say, you know what, I'm done? How can a man say that? And the woman is standing there like, what just happened?
I've heard stories about men leaving and they're being married to someone for 40 years and up and leaving. One of the stories that kind of put that together was a gentleman who used to work the graveyards, and his wife worked during the days. So by those two working for so long, for over 35 years, they worked for 35 years. He's working at night at the post office. She's doing her daytime job. They only seen each other on the weekends. So when they both decided to retire, from the time that they got married and said I do, and then the honeymoon, and loved each other, and both parties went on to go work their way, when they came in his retirement, they really found out that I really can't live with you, because now I'm starting to see stuff in you that I've never seen before. Because I was working at nights, you were working at days, things that you're doing I'm not used to. And we only had that 48-hour break for the weekend, and we went back to our grind. So it took this gentleman and a few others that I've heard some time to really look at that thing. I don't want to up and jump and leave because I made this an investment. You hear men say that the program with women is not working the way it used to. You're not doing the things that you did to keep me interested in a relationship. I don't get the massages no more. I don't get the dinner no more at the table. It's like the dinner is in a pot. You sit in another room, and by the TV, you're eating your food. There's not that connection. The woman is not getting that connection. You're not listening to me. You're not doing the things that you did to court me, to put me in that position and make you love you. So it goes both ways on that. But as a man, we tend to, it's so many examples of us jumping out of the car and leaving the car for the woman to steer. It's so many examples for us to point our finger to and say, you know what, that situation is kind of like mine. But we really don't, and that's like a scapegoat, because in true essence, if you really want to work that thing out and you really want to be there, you can. But sometimes a problem is so hard because a person, when you met them, you're here. Now they're way over to the right and you're way over to the extreme left, and it's like a big gap, and it's hard to come back and bring that gap into the fold. So it's so easy just to peel off the track and do your own thing.
So that's a kind of exaggeration. That's a more specific situation. But I'm talking about where the woman is completely blindsided. Like literally, They laughing. It looks like it's a healthy, successful relationship. I mean, why would a dude leave and he's 70 and she's 72 or whatever? Like, it just,
There are certain things, I don't know about the 70s, but there are certain things in men's in their early 30s and 40s and 50s that they're dealing with women. Even I know in their 60s, but 70s I pretty much don't know. But I've heard situations that men want to do a certain thing and they know that they can't get that certain thing with the person that they're with. And so they keep this very undisclosed and kind of hidden instead of talking this thing out and bringing it to the forefront. So when it's that time to bail and they see that she's not going to change, I'm not going to change my ways, but this is what I want over here. I done did my time, the kids are grown, we got grandbabies, I got one shot in life, I want another result.
So he just saying, he not saying anything. He just going along with emotions. All right, he making his checklist. Kids gone, you know, got a little retirement money set up. I'm out of here. But then he shows back up with a 20-something-year-old or a woman that's literally younger than his youngest baby.
Yeah, and that goes to be in a great essence that some men feel that they never got that thing in a bedroom from their mate. You know, you got some men out there that, you know, they want to get their groove on. And they probably didn't get their groove on with their wife at that time, the way that they envisioned it, the way they thought this was going to be. It's like, I want to do this, but you want to do that. I want this, but you don't want to do that. But they know that they can go outside them doors and their fantasies fulfilled. So it can go both ways on that. But as far as a man, you know, he's always thinking that thing. Not always, but you know, the majority that's out there because what is programmed to him on a daily.
So do you think health is, you know, somewhere playing into that to where he may have received some bad news at the doctor and, you know, he just lashing out his midlife crisis or something like that and he just goes off the deep end?
It's a lot. It can be health, it can be that inner decision, it can be the trust factor that he has with his woman, it can be that thing, that little, what you want to call those things that people always say, pet peeves. Mm-hmm. It can be so many pet peeves with the woman that he just can't stand it. He's actually pulling out his hair. So there's a list of things that can go ahead on. You know, one of the greatest things that happened with us, they got these things saying about Viagra, about ED. I think it's ED, erectile dysfunction. So, you know, men always have this thing, you know, hey, I'm going to go in for the bang here and there. And you know when you have that type of thing where it's like you go in the bathroom one morning and you get that type of arousal and things is not working the way you work. This plays a factor because you're wondering, what does your woman think about you? She says she's going to support you, but what does she really think about you? And so that's that factor. And as men, we're always looking and you're like, okay, all right, you're going to be supportive. But we got that second look. We're looking like, nah, but you said that, but I think you thinking this over here about me. And so at that time, men tend to feel kind of insecure. And when they feel insecure, it's very easy to make a decision because you're not secured in it. Once you're secure, you stand strong. Insecure, you can bounce. You can move until it fits right. But security will keep you at a standstill.
Because that's what we really equate manhood to be. That,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we equate that because it's, you know, you really think about it, we equated that because we've been programmed to that. Mm. You look at all the movies, everything out there is about a manhood. You look at about the actors or what have you, the star actors and things of that nature, the James Bond. You look at how James 007, he always had the woman. He always had that line, this is James Bond.
You
know what I mean? Yeah. You know, so he had that swag or what have you. You see with Denzel has that swag. So it's a thing where we take little bits and pieces of people that we see because we're visual creatures. We take little bits and pieces that we see and then we kind to bring that over into our area and then we make a form. So I make a form of Dave Wiseman, what I see that's out there, opposed of actually going in and understanding my manhood is not what I see out there, is what I grow and what I allow to come in and what I allow God to plant, and I block everything else out and go to him and focus on him for everything I needed to do.
Okay, so for those women out there that's hurting, they have spent years and years like to where that man is like a part of their identity. How can they, I guess you could say, how can they regain themselves? How can they get back? Like, how can they recover? What can they do that's been hurt from a man that's just up and left with no rhyme or reason in their mind?
A woman has to go back to the point and era before she met that man, or the time when she was with that man where she was actually very happy, and understand if that man wasn't in her life, what would she be doing? What was that thing that's going to make her happy? Because we all have to find our own happiness. We can't depend on someone else to bring it to the table. We're supposed to be this person because life is not guaranteed. You know, me and you can walk outside the door and something terrible can happen to us. That woman has to go back to that point, find that vessel, go into that vessel, clean out the cobwebs, and fill it so she can be fulfilled. Anything up outside of that, you tend to lean your emotion to what was or what could have been. That's dead and gone now. You have to make a turn to bring it back to the way that's going to be beneficial for you. It's going to be a way it's going to add more additional character and attributes to yourself. You know, you brush the cobwebs off of that past relationship and then start adding a new to it. But being in a relationship and a woman starting to see the signs, it's best for a woman to always have a check-in with her mate. Because sometimes we assume that everything is going fine, everything is going well, but we don't do no check-in. Now, corporate America, they always do a check-in. They got to have meetings. They got to make sure everything is running right. They got to make sure the accounting department is right, all the way down to the warehouse, to the trucks. Everyone is meeting. But how many times do we meet? Now, there's a difference, meeting and communicating. You communicate on a daily to run the household, how you doing, how was your day? But now you meet to find out, are we still on our objectives and our goals? Are we meeting these things that we said we was going to meet in the marriage? You got to keep that. If you don't, it's going to be washed away. Once that's washed away, one of the counterparts is going to figure and find out if it's not enough of emphasis in that thing that's washed away, then you're not thinking about me. So what's washed away cannot be renewed no more. So now there's a door open for me called option. Now I can walk up out of option door and leave you alone. But if you keep me in a required mode by coming to me and talking about it, I'm going to bring something to the table to you that I thought I wasn't going to bring before, based on you keep coming to the table and saying, we need to meet. It's a check-in. Is everything going on wrong with our relationship? I mean, how do you feel about what I did such and such? How do you feel I'm doing about the financing of the household? Did I did such and such? Or are we going to hit this other type of level? And then, you know, add goals and then reward yourself in that relationship between each other to make it fantastic, to make it exciting, just not, let's see where it's going to go. Well, that type of mentality, nothing is ever going to go where you want it because there is not a map that says, exactly, there's no structure. So going to where it goes creates that division, creates that divide, creates all this divorce that we see out here, creates the broken homes, create the woman who is at home emotionally broken, and it also creates that man who feels within himself that I'm totally insecure. I don't know how to get back. We see that on a constant. Me and you have seen that on a constant where sometimes men are just like they're so broken, they don't know how to reel it back, to bring it back to the table, to meet the next lady in their life, because they still have the carryover of the past relationship. They didn't renew themselves, so they're still bringing over the same luggage and the luggage has never been open. It's just sitting at the door for the next contestant to come through.
It's funny that you say that, because two things actually. That's very deep, because that's one thing I noticed when I was watching when the show used to be on Ron's House.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And I specifically remember taking note. He said, "I run my family like a business."
You have to.
He said exactly like that. He said, "We have meetings, and he does a temperature gauge and where the kids at, the problems they're at, and everybody's there together. And it's like almost like a innocent, like you can't get in trouble if you bring it out in the meeting versus just hiding it. You know what I mean?
That's
like
right.
if anything happens, like with the kids, they messed up some. Now's your time to be honest.
Right.
Versus me just finding out later by happenstance. But and they really talked everything out, and that's one of the things that really can commend him on that, and
Exactly.
and how he's been married for so long and has so many beautiful kids, and all of them seem to be going in the right direction. You normally have one that's just like,
Right.
oh my God, I'm about to just
Exactly.
pull my hair up. But if you really notice, all of them are great kids.
Exactly.
And really doing, they're really blessed and really favored.
That's right.
What they're doing. So I can definitely agree with that. So you need to, it's not too late to start either. Sit down with the missus, sit down with your girlfriend, sit down with the kids, and have an open, transparent is key, conversation and dialogue, and realistic goals that you all can set for you and your family. But what was the thing you were speaking about it? The last thing you said, it escaped me, about the man and his baggage. And it's funny that you say that. And I tell this, women don't believe me and it, they don't believe you either when we say men are way more sensitive than women.
Oh, yes, we are.
And that last statement is so true. When we get hurt that one time, that very first time, we
That's right.
tell ourselves, I ain't about to get hurt again. I'm not about to feel this pain again.
That's right.
And we may say this at 15,
That's right.
but for the rest of our lives, we're not going to feel that pain again, because we remember how it felt. And it's funny, as you say, we should renew ourselves instead of just leaving that baggage from that past
That's right.
hurt, there. So how often should we renew ourselves, and what things can we do to make sure we release that anger or that pain or that hurt?
Corporate America has this system, first in, first out. And that's like when you put your hands on a mail or incoming bills and stuff, you just don't stack it, you deal with it. You deal with what comes in that day, and you never stack it, because once you stack it, it's going to come back and it's going to hurt you, and it's going to bring something to you where you're going to have a sort of delay. And as men, sometimes we have a sort of delay in our life because we grab what comes in, and we push it on the back burner. So we want something easy. Well, we can't delay ourselves from having our nature call in the morning. Mm-hmm. We got to go to the vet. You can't delay that.
Yeah.
You can't hold that. So just take that same process. If I can do that and go to the bathroom in the morning, take care of my nature's calling, do what I got to do and start my day, I can take upon the problems that come my way and the emotions that come my way and just deal with it. Now, as you start to deal with it, your spirit man becomes stronger. It starts to cast out all problems that comes its way, opposed to the one who stands still and the problems will stack up on this person. Now, the spirit man is just casting out his problem. Now it's like, okay, what you got? What you got? Now he's actually going into that luggage and he's cleaning his stuff out and he's dealing with it. So when you open up your luggage, guess what? You open up that suitcase, whatever you have inside there is not hidden in the dark no more. Mm-hmm. It's brought to the light. So you pulling out, this is my weakness right here. I'm not good at paying bills. I don't know how to communicate. I did X, Y, and Z. I'm bad at doing such and such. I'm bad at having an ego so big that most mega preachers couldn't even handle me. So you got all this type of stuff, you pulling it out. Opposed now, you pulling out if you made a correct choice. That's only if you made a correct choice, because every woman cannot Some women will see your luggage that you're pulling out, and they will judge you for the luggage that you have, opposed to saying to you, how can I assist you with that to bring that thing to light so you won't feel ashamed of what you brought? There's a certain type of woman who can do that. Not all women can do that. So women are programmed to to attack you. Other women will be programmed to say, you know, that's not bad. We can do this. Just turn it this way. And there it is. It can be the simplest thing because women are artists like that. They can pick the simplest thing because that's what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be our helpmate. So they can take that simplest thing and turn it around in ways that we couldn't see it. But as doing that and bringing our great works to some of our problems, they can bring us the great hell to our problems. They can inflame something like somebody with some gasoline draws or what have you, and light the match and stuff, and next thing you know it, we're adding on to that, and it's like, you know, next you know, it's a big firestorm.
So that's basically like, and I like what you said about, you know, shedding light on it, because for one, it loses all power when the light hits.
Oh, lose all power.
Because now it's not binding you down like, oh, what are they going to think? What are they thinking of me? You know, now, oh, this is just like Eminem on 8 Mile when he say, you know, when he started rapping about himself and his own problems, the old boy didn't have nothing else to say about it.
Had nothing to say.
Because he done took all his dirty laundry out.
That's right.
So now he not binded, you know, by his faults and his past hurts.
That's
and
right.
then two, you know, that other person, you know, who keeps everything in when problems do come, because we know problems are going to come.
That's right.
It won't seem like the world is on your shoulders. It won't seem like, dang, I'm being hit by here, I'm being hit here, I'm being hit here.
Exactly.
You know, if you already are transparent and you let everything go, it's like, okay, I got this one problem I need to deal with. This is my only problem. Everything else is good in my life.
That's right.
You know, I take care of this problem. Okay, a few months later, I got this problem. Dang it. All right, how do I make this thing happen and, you know, finish it? You know, so you absolutely hit the nail on the head with that one.
We become our worstest enemy by staying silent. When these problems come up on us, opposed of dealing with it, because that's the strength in a manhood. When you deal with whatever come up on the surface and you speak to that problem and you speak to that mountain, you tell that mountain, move away from me, now you can start to see the valley. Now you can see the view between all the trees and all the forests and woods, that all this stuff starts to be cut down. Now you can see a clearer view. But the man who stays quiet and the man who suppresses that, more stuff piles up on him. And it piles and it piles. And he's so much up in darkness, he can't even understand light. He can hear the light in what you say, but he cannot see it, because seeing is this: popping the locks or unzipping in that bag and open it up. And once you open it up, now you can see, because guess what?
All them clothes falling over.
All that stuff in there is you. It's not the other person. It is you. That's what you got to do. It's not the woman who comes in your life, and it's not the woman who was in the past in life. All that there is you.
And let's be very clear, that's not a sum of who they are.
That's right.
That's not their identity.
That's right.
But that's just a part of them that they need to address.
That's right.
To work on.
That's right.
But it's not saying, oh, I'm this bad person because I got this, and I'm the bad person because I got that. No, it ain't no time for pity parties.
Just like we talking about this, when you go into a department store, they have clothes on a rack. And we're using this example of stuff that's in a luggage. In order to get your problems to work for you, it's just as well as you go in a department store. You find a jeans and you coordinate it with a shirt. A woman finds a skirt, she coordinates it with a blouse or a jacket. All we have to do is coordinate our problem and say, well, this is this over here and this is over here. I'm gonna make do. Now that problem is done. Now you took those two pieces of problems that you had right in there and coordinate them together. Now they have totally lit up in front of your face. Now they are part of the light. Once you do that, your strength level goes up like this. Now your stock starts to rise as a man, because you start to eliminate your darkness. And once a man eliminates his darkness, he becomes so strong, you can come across any type of problems that life throws to you, and it will never affect you. But once you hide your stuff, you'll be affected at everything that someone says, what's read about you, what's in the news, anything that's that way that's thrown at you, and you're still in your cage, and you have not came out, you will never grow to that point where you're supposed to be.
And I like what you said also about you giving that woman a chance to help you, because they're artists. They know how to, move the pieces around, because, they used to working, 17 jobs simultaneously in their mind and shopping.
That's right.
And I think that's a great opportunity in a relationship,
right?
To peel back another layer and say, hey, I'm a flawed man.
That's
and
right.
And I know in order for me to be the best man that I can be, I need to have an awesome woman, which is you.
Right.
My helpmate, and help me deal with my issues.
The power of a woman can do so much till she can actually shut the eyes down of a man, because she can do 10 to 15 things at the same time and not complain. Not complain. We're just driven. We see this one thing, I got to get it, my grind, and we're focused. Now, we got that strength. She becomes so diverse. She spreads herself out like this. Now her wings start to flap. When you have a woman flapping her wings like this and she's supporting you and behind you, delegation is in the house. It's done. It's done. Now it's up for us when those wings flap. You treat those wings in a way that needs to be treated. Because there's no sense, what we have done is this. So when a woman flaps her wings, just like the movie Waiting to Exhale, she helped him for so long, and then he just jetted out on her. She gave a portion of her life to helping him out to get this business. And he just cut her off and went and got someone else. So we can't do that. We got to understand the woman that flaps her wings and flaps it in a way where she doesn't bring drama to the table. She's not confrontational. That's the one we need to reward. She's a franchise player. She's the one that's part of the team. That's the one you build a team around, and you surround that woman with the things that she needs to keep her happy, because if she's happy, she's going to keep you happy. And it doesn't always have to be material stuff. She just may want that little bit more love. She wants you to open up that door. Maybe a massage, whatever it is. She wants you to open that door and think of the little things. Fine.
All right, so I thank you all. I love you all. We had, I wish I had more time to delve into this topic. Mr. Wiseman, the Know That Man, the affluent thinker, I thank you for being on the show. Where can they find you at? Where can they find you at?
You can find me at Know That Man, a Facebook page, Know That Man Facebook / Know That Man, and I'll find you there. Thank you very much.
And women, if you got any problems, any other relationship issues, he is the relationship engineer. So he's going to he'll definitely take care of you. He'll be taking emails and things of that nature. And so please check him out on Facebook. Check me out on Facebook, Twitter, website, all the other good stuff. So again, until next time, my friends, I thank you all. I love you all. And remember, keep God first. God bless and be a blessing. That is your wealth. Take care.